Hi guys, this is math lesson 14-1, partition rectangles into rows and columns. If you will be on page 585 and follow along with me, please. At the top it says Alice wants to cover 2 rectangles with same size paper squares for an art project. For which rectangle will Alice need more paper squares? So in your book, you'll have drawings that look much better than what I've done, but something similar, okay? So it says to draw lines to show same size squares, then add the squares by row or by column, okay? So for this one, the rows, we have 3 rows, 5 columns. We have 4 rows, 3 columns. So the blue rectangle is an array with 3 rows of 5 squares. So we can see that there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So there's 5 squares in each row, okay? So that would be, we could do 5 plus 5 plus 5. So just adding the squares in each row would be 15, okay? Or you could add the columns. So 3 plus 3 plus 3 plus 3 plus 3. 3, 6, 9, 12, 15. Either way you do it, you'll get the same answer because you're just counting the squares in this object, this rectangle. Okay? So there's 15 squares in all in this first one. The green rectangle, I don't know why it says it's green because it's orange in my book, but anyway, the second one is an array with 4 rows and 3 columns. So again, we can count up the rows first. So there's 1, 2, 3. So there's 3 squares in each. So 3 plus 3 plus 3 plus 3, 3, 6, 9, 12. Or we can count the columns. 4 plus 4 plus 4, 4, 8, 12. Same number. So that second one has 12. So Alice will need more paper squares to cover this blue rectangle because there's 15 in all. Okay? If you will look on page 586, we have some practice. The first part says to draw lines to show same size squares. Then write the total number of squares. So for number 1, let me see. Looks something like this. Okay. And then they've got, my book it's purple, so hopefully the color is the same in yours. They've got a purple, pretend that that's nice and even. Okay, purple rectangle. So what they want you to do is to draw the lines to create the squares. So you'll just draw, actually let me get a different color. That'll be a little easier to see what you're doing. So what they want you to do is to draw your lines to create the squares. Okay, and then we're basically just going to count the squares. So 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. So there's 12 squares in all. Okay, number 2, make sure I get this right. Okay, and then in my book it's green, so they have a green outline. So again, you're just going to draw the lines. You're connecting dots here, going across, and then we'll make our columns. Wow, that's really uneven. Anyway, so we have 3, 6, 9, 12. So again, 12 squares for number 2. Okay. And then number 3 looks something like this. And then mine is orange. So there's an orange outline. Okay. Again, draw your lines to create the squares. And then we'll count. So 4, 8, 12, 16. So there's 16 squares for number 3. And then number 4, and mine is red. I guess that is red or pink outline. Okay, let's draw our lines. We're going to do one horizontal and then we'll do our vertical lines here. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. 10 squares. Okay. Our problem solving number 5, it says Richard draws lines in a rectangle to show same size squares. He makes 5 rows of 6 squares. What is the total number of squares in the rectangle? You can draw the squares on dot paper to help you. Now in my book, I have dots. So hopefully you have dots in your book as well off to the side there. If you don't, go ahead and just draw them. Okay. So let's see here. I have 7 dots that go across and 7 that go down. So if you don't have these dots, go ahead and just make them so you can draw the shape with us. Okay, so it tells us that he is making 5 rows of 6. So we need 5 squares going down because there's going to be 5 rows of 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then 6 going across would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Ooh, those dots kind of got off there. Okay. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 going across. Okay. So then we need to fill in so we can count all of our squares. Okay, there's 5 going down, so we can count by 5. So 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. So there's 30 total squares. Okay. Number 6, it says, Tess says that she drew lines in this rectangle to show 6 same-size squares. What mistake did Tess make? So if you look at what she did, she split the rectangle into 6 squares, but they're not the same size. You can see that she's missing some lines. So what we'll write is, we'll say she split the rectangle into 6 squares, but the squares aren't the same size. And that makes a big difference. Okay? On page 587, at the top, it's that same example. We have an array of 3 Rows, 5 columns, and then another one of 4 and 3. So we already went over that. So go ahead and pause the video and do numbers 1 and 2 and the practice problems at the bottom. And then unpause it when you're finished to see if you're right. All right, so the practice problems at the bottom of page 587. Number 1, well, first of all, the directions. Draw lines to show same size squares, then write the total number of squares. Okay? So, number 1 gave you this. Okay, so we have to draw our lines. So hopefully that's what your drawing looks like, your box. And then we count. So 3, 6, 9, 12, 15. So there's 15 squares in all for number 1. Number 2, looks something like this. Okay, so again, draw your lines. And then we count 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18. So 18 squares for number 2. Page 588 is homework, so please do that and I'll check it when I get your packets. Thank you.